Hello and welcome to a new devlog video for Peasant Uprise. After spending the last couple of weeks taking care of some technical debt and adding some more content to the game, I decided to go back into level design. This would be my third level. The journey began at Netherly Farm, and it moved north to Donington's town. Moving along the main road north, we adventure into the Maulden Forest, which is the level that I'm building right now. There are some interesting characters to meet here as well as some challenges, which I don't want to spoil. However, I do want to showcase some of the testing that I've done to polish my skills when it comes to sculpting and painting terrain. I found that increasing terrain made some strange looking land formations very pointy, so I've drifted away from that and looked into a different way to achieve the look and feel I'm seeking. After a few tests, I found that using a different tool called set height, I could flat out terrain at a certain height and I could tweak it so it would create a hilly landside. This allowed me to get sort of a plateau landscape. Increasing the set height again and sculpting inside the plateau started to feel more like a realistic hillside. I also played around a lot with the different textures that I have and created different tones and faces for each in such a way that they blend well together. But this is a lot of tap here and tap there and adjust the brush size and opacity along the way. Really time consuming, but worth it nonetheless. To get rid of the sharp edges, I use a different tool to smoothen the terrain. I have to say that after messing up so many times with the sculpting, I'm finally getting better. The turning point for me was losing the fear of messing up and just be creative and play around with it. That's how you learn. Next, I started getting some more detail with my painting. I figured the same principles of painting a flat 2D image could apply to a 3D terrain. Hence I decided to add some highlights to the edges of this hill. While lights and shadows will create depth in a 3D game by itself, it looked even better when applying these highlights in the textures. To apply contrast to the edges, I created a darker grass textures that I apply below the highlights. While I find a lot of enjoyment and satisfaction in terrain building, I also feel the time pressure. It's hard to be artistic while looking at the clock and thinking to yourself, why is this taking so long? Placing trees is a bit of a laborious task. While you can mass place trees, then they will all look the same, and that's not what I'm really looking for. Patience is the key here, and also having a good library of tree, bushes and rock brushes at your disposal. Most of these trees I already showcased in past videos. This is a forest and therefore it's meant to have a lot of trees. So at this stage I'm more opening up the opacity rate and removing some smaller details to allow room for a higher tree density. Grass is also something I had to do quite a bit of testing back in the day because of performance implications. I opted for thin grass but in bunches to avoid having to place too many billboards in the scene. I do have another mechanism to place better performing grass that I would use in the background, but this will give me the flexibility to place a somewhat realistic, good looking grass in the forefront. All in all, I'm really satisfied with how much I have progressed and how the game is looking overall. It's a tough road to travel when I feel like my design is halfway between cartoonish and low poly and then a bit realistic too, but overall I like it. With that said, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next update.